Welcome on in, everyone. Let's look at all of my goals, my schedule for September, and a poetry challenge. We're going to do the intro to these at the top of the month a little bit differently, and y'all seem to have liked announcement videos. Let's jam. Oh, Loki! Welcome on back, everybody. My name is Jenna O'Malley. I am your soul writer, author of sci-fi fantasy with dashes of romance and nerdy references such as The Myrna Annals, Frey's novella, 6 weeks but 3 years is coming out here soon, and we're going to talk more about all the cool things going on around this channel here in September and more, everybody. We're eventually going to see potentially someone walk her on her shelves behind me. Sure, we'll word it that way. So let me go ahead and get some reminders, goals, and whatnot out of the way. Grab a cup of tea, coffee, soda, whatever you enjoy, and let's have a chat. So, Friendsgiving. I hope to do AuthorTube's Friendsgiving this November. If you are interested, I did put the links to the announcement video in the description box below, along with the where to go, fill out, and join us. We are definitely still looking for more people to join in and do all the funs and games that weekend, and certainly the more the merrier. If you cannot participate, I do hope and wish that you would share the word and the kindness of. Another thing we're going to do around here to share the word and the kindness of is a mug swap. How many of you, by show of hands, hearts, whatever emoji you want about coffee below, love coffee, tea, and you have a huge mug collection, and some of them just end up sitting there and get pushed to the back and unused? Well, I said, I definitely have this problem, and a couple other of us who were chatting along were like, yes, relatable, that. I said, let's do a mug swap. So there's also a form in the description box below. We're going to be visiting there a lot this video, to go ahead and join in. We are looking for people both inside and outside of the US to participate. It's not exactly a secret Santa, because the only thing you're paying for is shipping, is my intention with this. Gently used, lightly used, like new, not dented, not scratched, not washed into fading kind of mugs, okay? I have some mugs that are sitting in my cabinet drawer system of mugs that I really haven't used in, 6 months, that are fairly brand new, that I plan on gifting away, for example. So definitely feel welcome to join that. Soulbard bingo card for September is out. If you want to go ahead and check the rules for that over on the posts column and tab here in YouTube, I did go ahead and post this month's card and what you could potentially win for those who get, straight lines on the diagonal, the vertical, or the horizontal, or even if you do a coverall, there's a bigger prize there. Speaking of Soulbard-like things, Soulbard Academy is open for enrollment. We are doing a new class starting at the end of this month, believe it or not, for Bardic Empathy for 6 weeks. Do feel welcome to join. And if you're already part of Soulbard Academy, free access. Do bring new friends, though. Poetry Challenge. Finally, we're going to talk about this Poetry Challenge. Let's look at the Poetry Challenge for a little bit. All right, everybody. I told you we were going to the description box several times during this video. If you want to get the Soulbard Academy's free Gs, as in troubleshooting guides, your homie Gs, your troubleshooting Gs, your good guys, your good friends, go ahead to this page. That's where the link below for it will take you. You're welcome to use the subscription to newsletter if you want, but we're looking more importantly at the second link here. That will take you over to a Google Drive containing all you need as far as information on various things, including our monthly journaling challenges. We've been doing them together for 2025 so far, and this is our 6th month, I believe, 6th or 7th month actually, in a row of doing these. So I went ahead and initiate a poetry challenge. It's the top one there, the most recently added one. And it's a tarot or similar deck-based challenge. I made 2 versions of it. If you are so interested, you're welcome to print this off as kind of a tracker for it. So we have our intro to it. The first one is just one deck, 1 card a day. So you'll stick with 1 deck the whole month. Maybe you have a new to you deck that you really want to get to know. I have a deck right here that we just got from my friend over at Lolly Metaphysical, JC. that I could use for that, for example. Or maybe you have a deck that you haven't used in a long time. So says the lady with a whole basket of tarot decks. But she does not use that as often as she used to. Plus the one that fell out over here. So you can see where you can really use this in multiple ways when you see the next challenge down there, because you can pick 6 different decks. And then if you are so interested, where is it? I brought it with me as an example. There it is. And then take a normal D6 die, from like a Yahtzee, a Monopoly, those kind of games. Or if you're like me and you're a dice gremlin and a dice goblin and a dice dragon. I didn't even realize I was going to say that and wear this shirt. Anyway, if you're a dice dragon and you happen to have actually, polyhedrals, pick a favorite one. And then pick one. When you roll a 1, it's whatever deck. Whenever you roll a 2, it's another deck. Say you only have 2 decks. Well, rolling a 1, 3, and 5 gets me this deck, or the evens get me another deck. Say you have 3 decks. You're like, oh, I see where I can do that too. 1, 2, 3, repeat for 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, the list of the decks. So that way, if you're like, I have several decks that I just need to learn to level in again, I can pick a different deck. Now, if you're getting the same card from each deck, say, for example, you do the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of the month. Say by randomosity you get 4 different deck draws, but you still pull the same card. Okay, is this an episodic thing I'm writing now? And whatever you do, whichever card you're looking at, use the imagery, the intended meaning, the intuitive meaning, the characters, if it's like a character themed deck for those of you, or even if it's like an affirmation type deck, because you could totally, if you wanted, do this with like a moonology, or like our Cats Against Anxiety, or affirmators or soul truth. You could still throw those decks into this mix too and still get a poem out of it, right? So the reason I'm doing this, I have 2 grimoires, quote unquote, of poetry to write as spin-offs for the Myrna Annals that were kind of by request because of a poem I put in an anthology from Lauren and Nicole. The link to that is also in the description box below. And I hear not only are the 2 of Crohn's doing a Krampus anthology that we're quickly counting down the deadline on, I hear there's a dragon one going around too. Told you that description box was going to be your friend. So this is kind of one of my writing projects this month. My other writing projects this month are going to be finishing up both the tail end of Ian's novella, Daughter Forever, which tells his relationship with Iona, his niece, now daughter, in 2 parts. We get to see Iona slightly after Neftiri's novella that came out earlier this year, Pearl and Gold, really truly become a woman. And then what happens when she realizes that her cousins and her basically brother, Elias, they're not aging like she is. She's 28. She's going to be 30 in a couple years. And she's kind of going through something that her mother, Ian's sister, Anna Karina, went through in like book 4 and 5. Because, yeah, spoiler for those of you who have only read book 1 and 2, Anna Karina ain't as unalived as Ian thinks. Big spoiler. His sister gives him an adopted, we don't believe in adopted, you're just my daughter kind of daughter. So I have that to put out this month. Plus I have this poetry challenge I want to do for Neftiri this time around. And Vitalangica may have a soft launch. More about that in a minute. Let's switch screens again though. So, events, things going on, publications, goals, because we've talked about pretty much everything else on the title list, slightly out of order than I presented it to you. Bad writer, bad teacher of writing, bad coach of writing, I know better. Anyway, we're getting to the details here. If you want to join me at JennaTheSoulWriter.com. I believe it is /JOM schedule is where we're looking. Link in the description. So what are things going on for me? I have quite, as a friend said rather kindly to me, because she called me on my stuff in a very kind way. Thank you, friend. She said, you're ambitious the next 2 months. This is fall harvest season in many ways. I am a Virgo. This is my birthday week. This is my birthday season. And it's the start of harvest season. So it always has been this way for me. Kind of makes sense that I was a teacher, because same thing applies. Back to school, back to the harvest, back to doing routines and things for the colder months. So before it gets too cold here in the mid-Atlantic regions of the US, because it's going to happen in about 6 to 8 weeks, whether we like it or not. Anyway, so Fright Reads Book Fest. I am returning to the Howard County Fairgrounds here in Maryland on the 13th and 14th of September. There's going to not only be like a lot of local and more authors there, there's also going to be a small film festival that day. Come and join us. Come and join us. La Lune Metaphysical is having their Fall Awakening show here in Hagerstown on the 20th, if you want to join us over at Thick and Thin Brewery for that one. And I will also be in Shepherdstown, West Virginia for a one-day metaphysical market on the 27th. I don't mind doing the one-day markets at all this time of year, because one, sometimes it means two different markets in one weekend are possible, but also it still means I get a day of downtime. And that's how I'm kind of using my Sundays at the end of the month. More on that in a moment. So write a TTRPG with us. Oh, back up, Jenna. 6 weeks, but 3 years. We're going to do this in chronological order, Jenna. So on the 9th of this month, I am doing a pop-up kind of last minute of sitting down with Soul Writer Unscripted, which is the coffee chat style of this vlog. And I'm going to be talking about, yes, Frey is annoying, but he's also everybody's favorite character, because added into the fact that this short story turned novella became far more of a nexus point than I could have ever imagined. And sometimes now I wonder if it wasn't Nefertiti who was talking to me all these years, but maybe Frey pushing her story my way, because he knows all the deep lore, apparently, alongside Bovary. Anyway, so I'm really excited to be sharing this novella. I hope to have copies of it and Pearl and Gold at night, Fright Reads, and more importantly, I get to spend time this month working on the Myrna Annals TTRPG, the Ptolemaic Egypt, the original, the starting manual, again with Baka. He and I are, we have a lot of ground to cover. And we're meeting roughly once or twice a month for that. When I talk to people about things we do on the YouTube channel together, and that one comes up, to all those of you who were at all the different cons and shows this summer, I see you. Thank you. You rock. Definitely looking forward to seeing some of you show up in those chats and have a chat with us. I think it's going to be done for the manuscript draft faster than Baka and I anticipated. It's been a very eventful, now going on 9 months of working on it with him. And our flair artist / cover artist, Jeremy, is going to be possibly having a book to start drawing stuff for, and I still need to get Jeremy contracted to do a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a very busy and eventful fall around here, including the fact that listening to the voices in our heads is coming back. Every fall, we kick off a season of listening to the voices in our heads, the podcast I run that is for creatives by creatives, and definitely it's about creative minds and their creative processes, living in a world not built for them, but in much need of what they create. And this time around, we have so many cool people joining us. Some familiar faces that you've seen around here in the authortube space is true. At the same time, I've been making acquaintances with some really cool people at different vendor shows. We have our first cosplayer. Our first dream analyst expert from the metaphysical end. I'm so excited for that one later this month. That is our first episode, I believe. We also have fun times with a massage therapist who is a nerd, that his business model is nerds need self-care, and therefore his business is called Save Point Massage. And I'm like, ugh. Because going to your massage therapist should be like checking into a save point. And it's also the fact that friends of mine locally are now sending me other people who are locals in Maryland to be on this podcast. I still have friends who are being sent my way from Highlander Press. Thank you very much, Debbie, for sending them my way. But also a local tarot card friend of mine sent a tarot card creator my way, and OMG, that conversation was a blast. So we have a full season ahead, and I still have a couple of people waiting to record with me, including familiar faces, but I also have a couple of spots still available. So if you are looking to get some podcast experience under your belt, I am so for being your first practice run, because there's a lot of people that can say, I've done Jenna's as my practice run, and I'm okay with that. So if you want to add me, I can add you and swap and more. Members only are having fun times on Sundays. I have shifted a couple of things around. Craft book overviews will either be on Sundays or Mondays, because my Monday schedule, due to some changes that happened in August, is very, very full. So we shall see which day it is on, but we're going to do that a couple times a month. And we're doing a Fight the Sunday Scaries stream. And we did a run of that this past weekend, and it was so much fun. I had a slightly different screen layout, but instead of just do something 5-minute break, do something 5-minute break, soul care break, 5-minute break, what I did was every other one I gamed. And I left my game playing because I was playing Sims 4. So when I'm not like actively doing something, I'm playing Sims, and I left it to where you could listen to me play it if you want it, or watch and participate and like name stuff with me if you wanted. And oh my god, the gnomes are mean for the holiday themed stuff this year. The gnomes are mean. Anyway, they tried to attack my kitchen sink and give me a lightning bolt in the middle of the house. Anyway, I'm leaving the game and leaving the sim character autonomous while I'm off like doing chores, doing stuff to prepare for the week ahead. And I mean, some people just hung out and while they were reading or while they were doing their weekly planning. So it does have that sprint aspect to it, but I'm taking a slightly different spin on it, and members seem to like it so far. So good. And it's kind of possibly going to change some things I do in normal sprints on the occasion. So October, looking way ahead, because you're going to hear me talk about it a lot. October starts up a lot of travel, whereas September is a lot of local stuff, because even Fright Reads, I'm 45 minutes away. Max. Okay? I'm not going far. I'm not staying in hotels overnight. I'm coming home. So Fright Reads, I'm fine. La Lune, it's right here in town. Shepherdstown, West Virginia is like not even an hour or so away. Same thing applies. I'll be home that night for a one-day event. October, I'm returning to Altoona, PA for 3 days with Sci-Fi Valley Con's Fall Edition. They had the cast of Twilight, most of, there this past spring. Now they're going to have people from the likes of Hocus Pocus in the house and a couple of other big names. But also, I'm doing 2 events and giving presentations. I am doing my Writing with Tarot and Dice in brief presentation that we've kind of been doing a longer stint of a little bit in the edit shift, and we're going to be doing the dice part of that in this month with September. So you'll see a preview of what they get live, but I'm also doing an in brief version of So You Want to Be an Author Tuber. I'm not exactly calling it the same thing. It's the premise is the same thing as So You Want to Be an Author Tuber. What did you learn from writing and writing teachers that you can use in your noggin to start a YouTube channel? And I'm doing those 2 presentations, and they're going to be a blast. And there's a bunch of other places I'm traveling to next month, including another Ren Fair for October. But November, Baltimore girl has a reason to go back to Baltimore. I've been invited as a favored sponsor of the Unseelie Court to participate in the Baltimore Fairy Fair and the Fairy Scary Ball in November, which is a big like change of seasons for the royal court kind of event, and I'm excited. I'm way excited. You're going to hear me freaking out about the fact that I am blessed to wear ball gowns. here very soon. Thank you for being part of my community. Thank you for supporting all that I do. What are your goals for this month? Your challenges, your excitements, and more. Above all, take care of yourself. You know you've been worth it. And if you made it this far, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. See you soon.